Chris, what is our fourth topic today?
This is from Vanesh. Good day, John and team. I've been very saddened by the lack of Star Wars movies of late. I don't love the sequel movies, but they still gave me something to look forward to. Did you see that Kevin Feige's writer for his Star Wars movie says that it's not a sequel to anything and is totally original? What does that mean, and does it increase your excitement for it?
You know, it's kind of weird. I just said I'd never, ever heard somebody say the statement, my mom took me to see Deer Hunter. But for Jonathan, it's the second time today. Just the other day, I said on Mailbag, somebody else, hey, is the Kevin Feige Star Wars movie still happening? I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it in ages. And then the next day, Michael Waldron reminded everybody, yeah, I stepped away from Loki season 2 because I'm focusing everything on Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie. We got talking about that. Now, however, Michael Waldron, of course, the writer of Doctor Strange 2, and he is now writing Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie, was interviewed by Screen Rant, and we got a little bit of detail about what this Kevin Feige movie is going to be. This comes to us from Screen Rant. Screen Rant asks him, can we look forward to a Marvel return from you in the near future? Waldron, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'm busy right now in a galaxy far, far away. Screen Rant, I know you can't say anything about that actual project, but what does it mean for you to take that on? Waldron, it's great. It's a dream come true. In some ways, it's freeing because it's not necessarily a sequel to anything. There's an opportunity to breathe a little bit and do something that feels really original. And beyond that, it's just fun. I want to read that again. It's freeing because it's not necessarily a sequel to anything. There's an opportunity to breathe a little bit and to do something really original. And beyond that, it's just fun. And that comes to us from Michael Waldron, who is, of course, working on Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie. This, while a minor quote, I think gives us a real sense of context. Because by coming out and saying, okay, this isn't a sequel to anything. All right, so it's not Mandalorian based, it's not Boba Fett based, it's not following up on, I heard some speculation from people that it's essentially going to be Star Wars Episode 10. We know that that's not the case now. I mean, this really does kind of take a lot of the options about what this movie was going to be off the table. And by elimination, we start to get a little bit of a clearer picture. And then he says something that's going to feel really original. That can be good or bad. Because, some people, it's like not every Star Wars is a big universe, man. Not everything has to have Force users and lightsabers. But some people are like, where the F are my lightsabers? Like, where's the Sith fighting Jedi? We want to see that. So when he says totally original, does that mean original in the sense that we're not going to deal with Jedi or Sith? Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but maybe it does. Now, Rob, when I brought up the Kevin Feige project the other day, you made a prediction that I had not even considered. And I didn't honestly think there was any chance of you being right, but maybe you brought up the idea that you think they're going to actually make an announcement at Star Wars Celebration in a couple of weeks. And the more I think about it, it has been years and years since they first announced that Kevin Feige was doing a Star Wars film. And it has been years and years since then. Maybe now they have something that they can share. First of all, what do you think about Waldron's comments about this is not a sequel to anything and that's going to be really original? So what do you think about that? And then how does that affect your thoughts that maybe they could actually straight up come out at Star Wars Celebration in a few weeks and announce what this project is? What do you think?
I think that, well, one, the Star Wars universe is huge. And there's been so many ways that you could go with this. And I think if anybody has an idea of starting a different kind of a story or take a different tact or something, it's Kevin Feige. Would know. What I find really interesting about this is Waldron's coming off of a $500 million film right now. By the time Star Wars Celebration rolls around, it could be 700 million, 800 million, who knows. They don't make these kinds of, you don't see people making announcements for Marvel movies or Star Wars movies willy-nilly in the press.
Right.
I mean, and that's the only reason I think that we're going to get an announcement, because the fact that he answered this question, he could have said, I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
He didn't. He's actually giving us, he knows it's an original movie. Oh, it's not a sequel to anything. Oh, they're seeding the ground, for us. And I think they're going to make that announcement. I'm excited, dude, because, I think we all love the Star Wars universe. Even when Star Wars is also like pizza. even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. It's still pizza.
It's Tombstone.
You know, it's you're still
A Tombstone pizza.
I mean, I love the Star Wars universe. Look, if the movie's terrible, but there's X-Wings flying, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
If I hear the sound of a TIE fighter, I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, if I get that, I'm like, okay. You know, I might complain, and I do. We all do. I did not like Rise of Skywalker, but seeing horses gallop across a Star Destroyer makes no sense at all, but it's Star Destroyer.
It's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate that movie. I hate that movie. But even I couldn't help but go, huh, when I see horses riding across the Star Destroyer.
I mean, you know, I would just watch it. So to know this is happening, to know Kevin Feige's dealing with it because he has a huge love for science fiction. He's also a huge Star Trek fan. It makes sense. And I think that who better to announce that finally Kevin Feige's making a Star Wars movie. They're coming off a $500 million win for Doctor Strange. I mean, what a safe bet. Like, Disney shareholders are going to be like, bravo. You know, I mean, that's why I think we're going to get this announcement. You know what? Disney's finally, they got Kenobi, they got Kevin Feige, they've got this Star Wars celebration coming up. They're going to roll out the big guns, and everyone's going to be happy. And their stock price is going to go up.
I have a couple of thoughts. One is, wouldn't it be amazing if, by the way, Michael Waldron looks a little bit like Henry Cavill's less developed younger brother.
Yes.
But anyway, that aside, whatever. The number one, when he says definitely not a sequel to anything and totally original, you know where we haven't been yet that would not be a sequel to anything? Old Republic. Now we know that the Game of Thrones guys, they were trying to develop developing an Old Republic series of films before they part away. So that is obviously something that's on Lucasfilm's radar. So I'm not saying it's going to be Old Republic, but I'm just saying when you say it's definitely not a sequel to anything and it's completely original, we have never been to the Old Republic era on screen yet. That could be something pretty interesting, pretty fascinating. But the other thought that comes to my mind is this. The way you're describing that, I just remember the last D23 when I was there and Kathleen Kennedy's on stage and she brings out Ewan McGregor. And Ewan McGregor says to her, Kathy, yes, Ewan, ask me if I'm going to be Obi-Wan again. Ewan, are you going to be Obi-Wan again? Yes. I can just see them kind of recreating that. If she comes out and say, Kevin, are you ready to do your Star Wars movie? Yes. And then explosion across the universe, all that kind of stuff. Chaos ensues. It'll be great.
I mean, you think about it, John Favreau directed Iron Man and Iron Man 2. I mean, do you think Kevin Feige and John Favreau aren't talking all the time? You know, I'm sure Kevin Feige, when he's not working on by the way, they were doing reshoots for Spider-Man and Doctor Strange at Manhattan Beach Studios, where they're shooting The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan. They're all they're literally on the same lot making this stuff. I am sure they are way deeper into this movie than anybody knows. And when they make this announcement, I'll bet there's images. They'll show pre-production artwork.
If Waldron's still writing, do you think there's actually artwork already?
Yes.
Okay.
Because their development departments, I'll bet you they're going to show, and they'll even tell us a little bit about what it is. They'll say, this movie, look, dude, if they said Old Republic, if you're in that auditorium, people are going to go bananas.
Yeah, people will lose their minds.
And if it is Old Republic, Kevin Feige will probably say, I used to play that game, and I loved it. That's what, and I'll bet you we see that. Now, by the way, I don't know anything. I'm speculating. This is speculation versus expectation.
Right.
I'm completely speculating. But I'll bet you, because they got to make an announcement, they need a splash here. Everyone's already excited about Obi-Wan and all that, but they need to come out with guns blazing.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, you're hearing everything that Waldron's saying here. Number one, what do you take away from these two little but seemingly kind of significant pieces of information? Not a sequel to anything, quite original, all that kind of stuff. And secondly, just kind of going down this train Rob's got us on right now is, do you think an announcement of some kind could be imminent? What do you think?
I really do. I really think this Star Wars celebration is going to be huge because it's been put off for so long and they have so many irons in the fire. So I really do think we're going to hear more about this property. I'm so excited to have something new. I know some of the episodes were misses for you, but the thing I loved about Star Wars Visions was that it was new, original stories.
Yeah, it was all different. Yeah,
I loved that there weren't connections to other characters. Where I was like, yes, give me some fresh, tasty, new stuff. That is exactly what I want. And just backtracking, I love that for everyone who was like, man, Last Jedi is the worst film I ever saw. Rise of Skywalker was just like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
I still, look, I don't care what anybody says. I still, with all the bad that's in it, I still appreciate The Last Jedi.
I like
but
it.
God, even I, the world's biggest Disney Star Wars defender, even I was like, yeah, The Rise of Skywalker.
There's some pretty stuff in it.
There are
but
some very pretty things in it. You're absolutely
other than
right.
that- but yeah, let's get some new stuff. Let's get some new IP within Star Wars.
Yeah,
new
right.
characters.
Yeah, Tatooine still is going to be involved in it.
Yeah.
Still gonna be Tatooine.
We're
but-
going to be
gonna
talking
end
about
up showing-
sand.
Who knew that Tatooine was the center of
Oh
the
my gosh,
universe
yeah.
in Star Wars?
Chris, though, I think you make a really good point. There hasn't been a Star Wars celebration in a while. They need to come out and make a big splash.
Heck
and
yeah.
why not? I mean, they've got Ewan McGregor. You said they announced it
Yeah.
at D23. Well, here's the realization of that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting it next weekend, or the weekend after. It's happening. So you've got Obi-Wan. This is bringing Star Wars back in a big way. Like what did Steve Sansweet once say? Star Wars is in the air everywhere. That's happening again. And I think we need it. At this point.
Here's the thing. The fandom, especially after The Rise of Skywalker, especially after Book of Boba Fett, which was not horrible. And Book of Boba Fett has some people that actually quite appreciate it. And that's great. It's certainly, like Bryce Dallas Howard's episode was fantastic.
Yeah.
But Star Wars, the fandom needs to have something to be excited about right now. And certainly we are excited about Obi-Wan. But no streaming series is going to replace the excitement that a Star Wars feature film can do. And you're right. If they come out on that stage, and listen, I'm not saying that Star Wars Celebration is a bust if they don't do this, not at all.
Right.
But I'm just saying if they do this as Star Wars Celebration, Kevin Feige comes out on stage and they make the official announcement, all that kind of stuff. Suddenly now you got a fandom that's going to be excited again. And that's kind of something that they need right now. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think of Waldron's comments here about it not being a sequel to anything? It's going to be original, all that kind of stuff. Does it give you some theories about what it could or could not be? Do you think that maybe they'll make an announcement at Celebration? I'm still 50-50 on it, but if they do, it would be kind of wild. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. Now, Ann and I were both working professionals, so sometimes making delicious and nutritious meals can sometimes be very time constraining on us. And that is why we love HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes having delicious and nutritious meals fun, easy, and it saves us time and money. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable, and that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And listen, HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant, and it's even cheaper than grocery shopping. That's money back in your pocket. HelloFresh has fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying and nutritious meals that you can feel good about with 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. So right now, guys, go to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, that's HelloFresh.com/Campea16. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.